All right. I believe that is the signal that y'all can hear us. Good evening, SpeedGaming Prime. This is the Final Fantasy Randomizer Annual Spring Tournament. My name is Wout, and here in the booth with me tonight is Professor Renderer. How you doing, Professor?
I'm doing really great. Today it's been a nice little evening here on Tuesday.
Yeah, and tonight we have a rather interesting set of drafted party members. For those of you who have not seen any of the races of the spring tournament so far, this is a relatively interesting flag set. We start with a free canoe. We do not know where in the incentivized dungeons our treasures lie, our incentive items lie. And otherwise, if you've seen a Final Fantasy randomized race, a lot of this is going to look familiar. We've got early open progression leading to Dwarf Cave. We have docks at the Mirage Desert. We have docks at Onrak. We have all of the items available as soon as you start the file. We don't know our way through the Castle Ordeal's Pillar Maze. And enemies have their stats boosted from either cut in half or doubled or somewhere in between. But their health is only somewhere between normal and 50% over again. We get plus 5% XP per item. Our weapons and armor can have anywhere between minus 5 and plus 5 adjustments to their stats, which we'll get into during the race. Armor's minus 3 to plus 4. And these party members were drafted. So in short, we'll talk a bit more about what these characters particularly bring to the table with our class blursing. But, Renderer, do you want to tell us real quick a little bit about the structure of the tournament as they start their way into Canaria?
Sure thing. So this, if I'm not mistaken, is the first of what we like to call Pod Dr. Un, or Group D if you want to be technical. Currently, participants in this pod are Jats 2980, goatspirate that you see on the right side of the screen, Darth Kaijin, and DemonRHK on the left side of the screen.
Yeah, and so these pods, they're basically sort of friendlies brackets, in other words. So it's a round-robin situation, right?
Yes, very much so.
Yeah. So, yeah, as Chad is already noticing, yeah, this party is very light on ability to take a punch. And there's a few reasons for that. The main one being, we have what are known as class blursings. So, each class has certain advantages, it can have advantages and disadvantages applied by the randomizer at the beginning of the seed. For the pod stage, all classes just get one blessing. So, in this case, the thief has the ability to equip the katana before class change. The white mages have a plus 10 base strength, and the black mage is getting bonus MP. Both runners opted to draft their characters, meaning, in other words, goatspirate picked a party member that both of them had to use first. DemonRHK picked the next two, and then goatspirate got to pick the last one. Goats opted for a black mage and a thief. DemonRHK opted for the two white mages, in spite of me threatening them over picking something like 2 thieves and 2 white mages.
Yeah, this is going to be quite a wild ride with this particular draft, as we see goatspirate taking down Garland without any problems, and so does DemonRHK.
Yeah. So, let's see. I am seeing a chime and a floater. Okay, we're about to be airborne.
Very early floater is a very nice thing to see in this early game.
Yeah, because, like I said, we have a free canoe in this flag set. So we can go pick up that airship as soon as we can live long enough to get over there. Which, sometimes the fish make that difficult. among the many other things. we kind of missed the chance to talk about this, but our magic starting out is not blow your socks off good, but it's solid. We've got what, Cure 3, Zap, one of the level 2 elemental spells, and Wall available at level 1.
Eh.
Oh, and Lock. I forgot about Lock. The poor man's fast.
Yeah. Seems fine.
Goatspirate skidding into Provoca with, I think, 15 HP on that thief. Taking advantage of the fact that the thief can get away from things. Yeah, 15 HP on the nose, so... we're gonna heal before fighting the pirates. I believe in these flags, the pirates are just standard, so no surprises there. I think they can roll a particularly rude script. Yeah.
Something a little Ice 2 can't deal with.
Oh yeah, no, like... That's some good money, that's some good XP, and Bicky gives us a ship, so alright, Goats has an easier time getting that airship now. And a cheap tail.
Yeah, very cheap tail. Only 44.38 gold.
I didn't see what of the ogre or the creeps turns people to stone, but that's something that Goats is probably going to be very glad to have bypassed going to get the airship. You may never see that, actually, depending on how he routes around things and what our map rando is looking like. But Demon is probably going to be the first one in the air. Life 2 at level 2. Okay. Seeds free.
Yeah, that's a nice... Oh, and there's a nuke at level 2 as well.
Okay, seeds free. Seeds free.
Yeah, and also nice 3. Also nice 3. And then 5 minutes and 20 seconds, Demon's out in the air.
Yeah, Goats is going to take, like, probably 2 more minutes to get in the air, depending on how nice the ocean is. Honestly, Ale Markin in chat pointing out that they might be regretting not having red mages now. Considering Life 2 and Nuke are at the same level, I think that they're both quite happy to have a dedicated Life 2 and dedicated Nuke casters. Probably the thing that Demon is regretting is not bringing a second black mage instead of the 2 white mages.
We got an Oxio from the Sages.
Yeah, so we already have access to 3 dungeons, to 2 dungeons completely, and 2 dungeons the first half. So we just need a rod and a cube to be able to hit all of the fiends. Question chat, is that Life 2 Night learnable? The good news about level 2 white magic is everything's Night learnable. Like, if you have a knight in your party, you want level 2 magic to land nicely, because that's the level that the knight just learns everything. And same goes for red mage, obviously.
Yeah, and also, our tracker had picked up too is that Cure 4 was on level 6, white magic, and then I also saw Quad X on black magic level 6.
Yeah. So we have some good tools available deeper in, but I guarantee you that both of these runners are going to go to see if they can find some money or something that they can sell for money, so that they can go back and get themselves that tail, because going ahead and having that thief ready to learn black magic as soon as they hit level 15 is going to be really nice. Other things that are really nice. Cloth armor actually being decent today.
Yeah, what's the cloth armor looking like?
Cloth +4, so that's going to be... I think that's going to be like a 9 absorb, I think. I think the the absorb on body armor is double the bonus. So
Yeah, definitely nice find for that.
yeah,
clock
until you can track down a bracelet that actually has a bonus, or can afford them, that's a solid pickup. That will at least keep your party somewhat alive. Also, I think I peeped out of the corner of my eye that our tri-state use alternate formations on the spike tiles rolled the B-sides today. Because I think I saw that double zombie D on the fire tile, and I think Demon's going to show us another look. Well, never mind. But I definitely saw a B-side encounter there. Which, for those of you playing along at home who've never played a Final Fantasy I Randomizer seed, the B-side encounters refer to, in the game's code, each encounter in the encounter table has an A, and actually, wait, never mind. This might be normal encounters, because I just realized that double zombie D can be the normal tile in ordeals. And it looks like we do have a katana -2. So that's a thing.
Yeah, and we know from the blur scenes that Thief can actually equip a katana here.
Yeah. It's just one of those things where, it's better than everything else the Thief can equip, but, not necessarily what you wanted to see on that katana. And yeah, Ale, yeah, now that I'm thinking about it, that, I always forget that the Ordeal Zombie Dragon Tile can have 2 Zombie Ds on it. Partially because I never play with the vanilla spike tiles anymore, so I just don't remember what those look like.
Over on Goat's Pirate's side, we saw that Sarda gave out the herb.
Mm-hmm. So, I believe we do not have NPC Shuffle on, not that it would matter, because we can access any and all NPCs that you turn in items to. So... Alright, yeah, so we do have vanilla spike tile shuffle, because I don't know where Goat's Pirate is at the moment, but that is the spike tile that guards the robot in the waterfall. And we picked up a ribbon +2 in the armory, I believe, so... And Ale confirming that we are currently in the Hall of Giants. What were you going to say, Professor?
Demon did pick up the tail off of the shop down in Provoca.
Yeah, I do not hate this. You can go ahead and strap some decent armor onto that thief. And also potentially find a better weapon than that -2 katana. Because it's not a bad weapon, but I feel like you kind of are hoping you're going to see something a little bit better. Also, I do believe we have a Zardia sitting over in chat. Good evening, Zar! Did you see that I happened to find the first tournament's write-up earlier today, and threw it up over in general on the Discord? Might be a little bit of a nostalgia trip for you.
Cube.
Alright, so we are a rod away from being able to just start punching out any fiend dungeon we feel like. So, Professor, here's a question for you. You've got a chime, you've got a cube, you have level 2 nuke. Do you just make the Sky play?
Sky.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, I am technically probably like level 5, maybe 6. But I'm not going to be that for very long if I just get turn order with that nuke. Just save outside of Sky, walk in, pick a fight until you get one that you win, and you are going to probably be level 10 walking out of that fight. Oh, we're already level 9 on Goats' side. Yeah, Sky.
Yeah, Sky. You gotta go Sky.
So, we'll see if these runners go with that. I can also see a CCC move, just because that mermaid floor is a little bit easier looting than Sky, but and yeah, our tracker Ale Markin pointing out in chat, we had heal 3 and exit at level 4 white magic, among other things. Ah, and Invis 2. I couldn't remember if that was level 4 or level 3. So...
Okay, looks like Goats is gonna head into Marsh.
Yeah, so as I pointed out earlier, we have randomized incentive chests, or random placed incentive chests today. Which I do not believe is going to be that canal. Which means, for those of you playing along at home, is it the item in Marsh? Okay. I am not used to canal actually being an incentive item. But, for those of you playing along at home... You were going to say, Professor?
No, you can go ahead.
Yeah. So what that means is normally, in the Final Fantasy I randomizer, we have what are known as incentive chests. Which just means the normal chest that has something important in the vanilla game is where a key item gets shuffled to. The flag that I just mentioned that randomizes the placement of that incentive chest instead says, "Oh, you enjoyed knowing where the incentive item was? Now you gotta open every box in this dungeon until you find it. Have fun, kid!" So...
As if we haven't opened up every single box anyway to begin with.
Oh yeah, no, this flag set is a box opener's paradise, because we've got like 5 incentive dungeons, all of which are tagged for random placement, including Sea and Sky, so... we're gonna see more boxes opened than possibly normal, depending on how kind and gentle and loving the seed is. Also, we're probably going to see mermaids.
Yeah, as it stands right now, this seed hasn't been too bad. Like, it's been very kind.
Yeah, like it's one of those things where this is feeling very undanny. And Demon taking advantage of one of the nice things about weapon blursing, in that the pricing of items doesn't care about the bonus or malice on it just cares about what the base item is. So, those ice swords, perfectly worthless to you, but very valuable to the weapon shop owner.
Demon's gonna go ahead and get the cube from the prince.
Yeah. And it's a little bit unfortunate for goatspirate and Demon. They found that warp, but they can't just warp glitch and be done with Ice Cave. Also, gargoyles have poison.
Yeah. Ooh, that...
Damage poison. That's going to make Earth fun.
Yeah, that ain't good.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, Cyrenus in chat pointing out that this looked like it was a fun draft. Just to reiterate, goatspirate had the pick of whether to go first or second. He opted for first and fourth, went with a black mage and a thief. The thief was in response to Demon drafting 2 white mages. The bonuses that they rolled, the thief can equip katana before class change. Not that that mattered with this seed. The white mages got bonus strength, and the black mage got bonus MP. So, not the best blessings, but no one else got much that was better.
Right.
But Goats is showing off the warp glitch. which, for those of you who played the vanilla game, are going, what on earth is that? So, in the vanilla game, obviously, you can't have warp when you come to the ice cave, because you need to be class changed to warp, to learn warp, and you can't class change without the airship and the floaters in ice cave. But you can have warp going into ice cave in the randomizer, and what we discovered is, when you fall through one of those holes and cast warp, you just appear on top of that hole like it's the floor, and you can just walk off it. So you can just skip the entire ice cave if you have the normal incentives chest. This time you can't, but you could. And they drafted after knowing the bonuses. To answer the question.
Yeah, and from the looks of things, that warp glitch, the only reason why that's the case, from my perspective, is that the game only cares if you actually walked onto that tile and not like you spawn on top of it.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. The trigger to activate the teleport that the tile causes is stepping onto the tile, not being on the tile. So if you aren't stepping onto the tile, the code doesn't execute, so you can just walk right off it. Very handy if you do want to check the that tile where the eye normally is in the vanilla game. That light -4 axe might come in handy, since we do know where a zombie D tile is. Because the penalty on that light axe does not affect the Harm 2 spell that it casts. That only applies to the weapon's actual statistics.
Right, and Goats is going to go ahead and buy the tail from the Provoca shop.
Yeah. Cyrenus in chat pointing out that another case where you can have fun shenanigans with warp is the teleport that you get after you rescue the princess from Temple of Fiends also triggers. Also, when you cast warp, will take you back to Temple of Fiends. It's a very situational utility, but it does have its uses in very rare instances to save a couple of seconds of walking. Specifically in situations like a seed where you have a free airship and like flew it up to Temple of Fiends. If you had warp at level 1, you just teleport back to your airship and go. The other place where warp is going to come in handy is when we tackle ordeals, because warp will let you teleport back to the last pillar you used, which is handy when you come to forks and pick the wrong one.
Good Spyro got the TNT from the ferry in Gaia.
Alright, so we got a little bit of a fetch quest going on.
And one thing that our tracker did point out too, is that Fire 3 is also in level 7 Gaia.
We're never picking that up.
Of course not, but because we have we pretty much have we pretty much have a stacked thing in the form of like level 2 nuke.
At this point, the runners are looking for fast and temper. That's it. They have everything else they need. They have level 2 life 2. They have cure 3. They have cure 4. They have heal 3. They have invis 2. They have exit. Literally, the only thing I can see them maybe wanting is fade. And yeah, temper and fast. So, Almarkin throwing some knowledge down in chat that specifically what the improved MP bonus does is it grants the Black Mage MP at every level right out the gate. So now that we've class changed, all we need is money and we can cast spells. We're still not going to go back and pick up that Fire 3, but...
Goats is heading towards the, inside the waterfall cave, heading to the robot and its associated boxes.
So it looks like Demon has decided to Dan one of those white mages, and that seems sensible to me. With the way that all that magic has landed, you really only need one white mage to have levels. The other one's already got enough levels to where you can pick them up, have them heal up the party, and then let them die. If you're looking to conserve your actually good white mages, MP any.
Ooh, that's a Vorpal +2.
I think our ninja just found their weapon.
And robot's giving out the adamant.
Alright, I think we're about to go visit the dwarves. Is Goats just not I guess Goats hasn't gotten level 4 spell charges on those white mages yet. Which is a problem I think Demon is looking to avoid at the moment.
Yeah, that could be a problem.
Yeah. I believe Goats is the one who picked up that light axe, so at least the undead encounters in here shouldn't be too bad. But yeah, that Vorpal +2 is going to do work, because
Yeah.
the Vorpal's biggest disadvantage normally is that, like, it's, you know, that crit rate is phenomenal in the randomizer, but its base stats are kind of not fantastic. That +2 is going to go a long way to putting that Vorpal in the, yeah, no, we're just going to murder everything with this. The ninja is now a very red blender.
Yeah, and that was, again, like I said, it was a very good find from Goat's Pirates that ended up being in this waterfall cave.
Yeah. Goats has houses. I wonder if he just figures, you know, he's gonna conserve his. He just wanted to conserve the houses for doing a dungeon dive. I think he might be thinking of going ahead and hitting C.
Yeah, this looks like to be a C play.
Yeah. I wonder if what Demon is doing is going ahead and getting spell slots on that ninja, so that he has a couple extra nuke shots. Our wonderful tracker Elmarkin pointing out in chat that from what we've seen, we now know that Fast, Temper, and Fate are either level 5 or level 8 magic. I believe that is what the youth of today call a big oof. Because that is a coin toss right there that you do not want to see.
Yeah, and that could be a big problem, like, really quickly.
Yeah. Like, I'd be willing to expect we're gonna see one of those three at level 5. And if you're these runners, you're hoping that if it is only one of those three, that it's not Fade that wins that little wager. Because of those three spells, you don't need Fade. But you definitely want Temper and Fast, especially on that ninja. Like, actually, I guess, of the three, Temper is the one you kind of hope is at level 5, because you do have that level 1 lock available. And while it's not quite as good as being able to double the buffed hit rate on the ninja, it'll at least make sure that every one of the hits your ninja does have land. I mean, with improved MP, you do have those spell charges, but unless you are getting spell charges uniformly, you're still going to want more than a couple of shots of whatever spells landed at level 8 on that Black Mage. Which it very well might be uniform. I will admit, I'm not as well read on class blursing as I should be.
Neither am I.
Oh, the metal slimes have stone poison. That's great. Wonderful. I think that was on Sharknado floor. Might even have been, like, the Sharknado tile.
Demon is about to fight Carrie here, and will probably strike first blood pretty soon.
Yeah. Let's see if this is a kindly carry or a you are all going to die carry, and that was 2 hits for 27 damage? And then Dark on your melee. I guess this is a, well, we're going to nuke carry down because that's our only option.
Oh yeah, because we had ink, we have nuke at level 2. Not ink.
We've had Dark come out, we've had Ink come out, and Carrie's dead. But
it is first blood.
Yeah. First orb lit by DemonRHK just after the 30-minute mark. With a relatively friendly carry. Because, like, just to point out, that carry had about, what, 600 HP? That took 3 nukes to kill.
Yeah, this was a very easy carry to knock down for Demon, and perhaps goatspirate once he makes his way over back to the volcano.
Ooh, that's a nice find for those mages. That +4 pro cape. The pro cape being the only shield that the mages can equip.
Yeah, and this is actually nice for the mages as well, like you mentioned, because our pro rings are -2.
Yeah, I mean that's still a +6 absorb on the pro rings, and they still do give you resistance to the death element.
Right, and I'm not deciding this just to disclose how good pro rings are, but just a little interesting facet or interesting little thing about our floor styles.
Yeah, it is one of those things where you don't want to see a penalty on pro rings if you have a mage heavy party. I think that goatspirate just got through the worst slimes, and I think got a wooden helmet out of it. Here's the real question: does goatspirate have softs?
According to Ailmarkin, no.
Yeah, so that was a reset, but he at least has the. Okay. You know, I think at this point you go to Sky.
Yeah,
Sky's
the play.
C is not a good place.
Yeah, this is not like with crack sharks and what we saw with the slimes.
This is not a place of honor. No deeds of great merit were done here. Do not go any further. We built this place to bury a great evil that we did, that still exists in your time. This was not a place of honor.
Yeah, and you did mention like a while ago that this seed was rolled by Danny. And as El Markin pointed out, now it's starting. The Danny seed is starting to manifest itself. But hey, there's a ruby.
Yeah, fantastic. Titans is not incentivized today. That ruby is almost certainly going to go unused.
And we got a Masamune at -3 for the mermaids.
Okay, so what I'm seeing is that apparently Zardia slipped Danny like a tenner to make sure that this was the seed where you want the Vorpal sword. Because that's what it's eating like to me.
Yeah, yeah, because we remember that Vorpal was at +2, and that's really good.
So I mean,
oh boy.
Even with a -3, that yeah, even with a -3, that Maza you're still gonna probably throw that Maza onto like your white mage just to have a little extra damage. Like, it's still gonna hit 200 to 300. Like, the Maza has really good stats. But you're probably still going to just, You're gonna stick with the Vorpal on your ninja.
Yeah, just because of the fact that the base stats got upped because of the blur item setting. And you mentioned too that it was like vanilla, like normal Vorpal, like its stats are like actual base stats aren't good, even though it has a really high crit rate.
Yeah, like, yeah, its normal crit rate is good enough to carry an otherwise meh sword. With the bonus, first of all, that bonus is being applied to the crit rate, but then you're also improving the stats on that thing. Yeah, no, that's the Vorpal +2 is what you're putting on your ninja. That Maza is going to go on one of your white mages, and basically every other weapon is either what is basically a, so what do you cast? Oh, nothing? Well, I guess you're getting sold.
Demon is in Castle of Ordeals.
Yeah. So there's a question, chat. Why is it that there's a great divide on Vorpal versus not Vorpal? So, while both runners are kind of doing a little bit of exploration / about to fight a Kraken, well, we'll wait until after Kraken's dead, and then we can talk a little bit about why the Vorpal is as it does. Because this has been a long-standing dispute among people who play the Randomizer. Specifically because of changes the game made to the Vorpal.
Goats is looking to do some brag strats. Or initially doing brag strats. No, yeah, it's doing brag strats. Trying to break Kraken into pieces at the same time, trying to also use the Vorpal as a base, but wall from onto the Black Mage.
Yeah, this could have gone better. So anyway, Linkshot in chat already pointing out part of the reason. One of the reasons why some people are not fans of the Vorpal is its greatest strength is kind of RNG based. So the Vorpal gets a boost to its crit chance compared to basically every other sword in the game. There's a whole thing about bugs in the original game's code we won't bother getting into, but just know, with the bug fixes in the randomizer, the Vorpal and the Katana have the best crit chance in the game. That's on a per-hit basis. So crit ignores the enemy's defense. Or absorb stat. Which makes it very good for doing damage. But it's also a very swingy sort of thing. Like, as you saw on that Kraken, that ninja swinging a katana +2, if he crit, did a little bit of damage. If he didn't crit, was hitting for 1 damage per hit landed. Because if an enemy has really high absorb, that Vorpal is generally not going to get through that absorb. The Maza can, but the Vorpal won't.
From the dwarves, that the adamant turned into the loot, and the little dwarf that you get the TNT to ends up being where the crown is, and you get a white shirt from that crown of Astos.
That a +4 white shirt, that you put that on your white mage who's got that Maza in hand, that almost makes them a decent secondary melee. Just because they have the survivability. If anything, I think right now, with the equipment we found, that white mage probably has more survivability than the ninja, all things considered.
Yeah, that +4 on the white shirt is just excellent.
Yeah,
we didn't mention this already.
Go ahead. No, you go first.
Okay. So we did mention this already, but Demon went into Ordeals, got the rod from out of Ordeals. It looks like.
Go ahead.
Looks like Goats is heading over to the tower, and then also heading into Sky.
So yeah, we have comment in chat about how in Demon's Party I am playing the role of a ninja tonight. And yeah, so just to recap for folks who came in a little bit late, these runners opted to draft their parties tonight. Meaning that, in this case, goatspirate got to pick first and decided on a black mage for both of them to use. Demon fired back by picking 2 white mages, and Goats fired back by picking a thief. Which is why you are seeing a thief, 2 white mages, and a black mage, and we are sitting here going, yeah, the best armor they have right now is a +4 white shirt. Also,
Yeah.
thanks to Randomania for that raid coming in. I believe y'all are coming from another race, so welcome to this one.
Goats picked up the crystal out of the bracket room, or whatever it was called.
Yeah. More importantly, though, that's a +4 flame armor. So that ninja actually can take a punch now.
Less than greater than room.
And yeah, since the Raiders showed up immediately after I said that, yeah, this was a draft. Goats picked first, picked a black mage. Demon picked 2 white mages. Goats picked a thief. Yeah. Main advantage is that the Black Mage has the improved MP blessing. So, and there's a good chance that is going to come into play because Temper and Fast may be at level 8.
And we'll mention this before, but like our best armor for white mages is a white shirt with +4 on it.
Yeah, well, the white shirt's usually good, but I'm saying that white shirt was almost the best armor we've seen overall. I think the fire +4 edges it out, but not by very much.
Right.
Yeah. Well, we don't know if it's level 8 Temper Fast, because has either runner actually gone to Melmond yet? Like, we haven't actually seen level 5 Black Magic yet to know if it's level 8 magic or not.
No, yeah, we have not seen we've not seen Melmond at all.
I mean, in all fairness, I don't blame them. It's Melmond. No one wants to go there. The people who live in Melmond don't want to go there, don't want to be there.
Not to mention, too, we don't even have a tablet, so there's that.
Yeah, so there's a lot going on here, but we do at least have level 2 nuke, so Goat's not having too much trouble picking up a bunch of levels real quick here in Sky by just murdering everything with nuclear fire.
There's a war mech! Second encounter, too, on Goat's side, but besides to run.
And a third encounter on Goat's side! Are we gonna get the fourth? We're gonna get the fourth? Aww! Okay, hold on. Did you catch that Goats just went ahead and started running again before he realized that wasn't another war mech?
That's great.
Oh hi! It's the metal slimes. Ghost is going to run like crazy before they turn his entire party into a statue garden.
A weapon to surpass Metal Gear, Metal Slime.
So for those of you who just joined us, Sea Shrine is a Danny seed. Sharks have crack. There are metal slimes on some of the spike tiles that have, as you saw, stone poison, and there were a couple other nasty things that we saw down here.
After that comical Bridge of Destiny, Ghost is on Tiamat.
Yeah. So, we're gonna see some Brack strats come out. Brack being technically a poison elemental attack in Final Fantasy I, and Tiamat being vulnerable to poison. Because as it turns out, having a lot of mouths is very bad when your opponents can just distribute clouds of poisonous gas. Why does Brack work? I don't know.
Because it does.
Okay, we'll go with that. It works because it... Actually, no. Okay, hear me out. So, what if Brack emulates a Medusa's gaze? And Tiamat is susceptible to it because, 5 sets of eyes.
But he gets broken into pieces anyway. As you mentioned it.
Well, yeah, see, as soon as I figured out how it works, Tiamat realized that she couldn't stand up against the ironclad logic that I was applying, and died. Ignore the fact that these runners are on a 10-minute delay, and so that couldn't possibly have happened. Causality doesn't matter. Time is an illusion. Roll with it.
It's why this thing is called the Chaos Comedy Tour for a reason.
Roxall does make a good point. We're in a time loop anyway, so, all of this
right.
this is an eternal recurrence as far as the Light Warriors are concerned.
Right. So, Goats is, after that whatever that sky was is now an ordeal. It's gonna go get the rod here.
So to actually answer the question in chat, so Brack actually has a better chance than Bane of landing on Tiamat because Brack is a slightly more accurate spell. And both Brack and Bane benefit from Tiamat's vulnerability to poison. Ironically, because of that, Tiamat and Kraken actually have the exact same vulnerability to poison element spells, just because Kraken's magic resistance is just that much lower than Tiamat's, to where when you take away Tiamat's magic resistance due to just trust me on this. All you need to know is between Kraken and Tiamat, they are basically equally susceptible to poison element spells, which is why you see Brack coming out against both of them. If you would like to know more, come join us on our Discord and look up the Astral Esper algorithm guide, do the math yourself, it will all make sense. Or just listen to Linkshot in chat, he's got the numbers.
Yeah, it's 160 for Kraken, and Tiamat is 200.
Mm-hmm. And then wizardry happens. I will dispute the claim that nothing about FF1's programming makes sense. It makes perfect sense in terms of what it's doing. It's the why it does it that sometimes boggles the imagination.
The best way I can make an analogy between this and another something else like some programming and this one is because it's this one hits close to me, but how Mothula's actually her system works, where for some reason on Gold Sword or hitting the spikes, Mothula does no damage. And it's and the reason why is just because, well, I don't know, it doesn't make any sense as to why it happens, but we know how it works internally. So
well, yeah, I was gonna say, I thought it was because the programmers for Link to the Past were well, we don't feel like putting in two different codes for damage, so we're just going to say that spikes and the Gold Sword use the same damage type and call it a day, because this way we don't have to keep track of all this crap. And it's just so happened that when you actually go through the trouble of having a Gold Sword before Mothula, either through hook or by crook, suddenly you discover that gap. But yeah, it is kind of like that, except Final Fantasy I is just full of a bunch of those.
I'm obviously biased because I play Link to the Past Randomizer way more, but I'm here for Final Fantasy I, so that's what you guys are here for anyway. So.
Oh, okay. Look, if we're not going off on a tangent, it's not Final Fantasy I Randomizer commentary. Also, Demon is still in this fight with Kraken. I think they have officially reached immovable wall versus irresistible object status. Because Kraken can't hit them through the 6 layers of Invis 2 that White Shirt provided. Okay, finally he's dead. And we have our first runner to have 2 orbs lit in this race at the 51-minute mark.
Again, you somehow you say something and then a complete opposite happens. It happened again.
Okay, look, here's the thing you have to understand about me, Professor. Final Fantasy I Randomizer, as a game, just likes to prove me wrong when I'm on commentary. It just knows.
It feels like that. The same way for me whenever I get a chance to play commentary. I do commentary for for Link to the Past compared to FF1R.
Alright, but in the meantime, Goats has finished up Ordeals. I haven't seen what level he's at, but it looks like he's probably mid to high teens, so not too far behind Demon in the XP race in spite of Demon having done that dedicated grind, while Goats has kind of been doing a walking grind. So...
Demon has his loot, or in case of Demon's screen, a whistle.
Yeah, that is one of our... Let me see what we actually call it on the website, because it's gone through several name changes. It might still be Fun%. Yeah, it's still Fun%. So, one of the things that you can set in the randomizer, for folks who've never fiddled with it before, is what we call Fun% flags, that do not affect the RNG in any way, shape, or form, but do allow for little alterations. One of those is a flag called Multi-Instrumentalist Sarah, which changes the vanilla game's loot into one of a number of different instruments, such as the whistle, the ocarina, the guitar, etc., etc. You can also change what food the Titan likes to eat, and whether or not you murder the Hooray Dwarf when you talk to him with the NPC guillotine on.
And we're now seeing level 5 magic, because Goat's got the slab, not the tablet, but... Okay, let's see what this is. Temper and Saber on level 5 black magic.
Yeah, I mean... You can make that work if you don't feel like walking to an unnecessary... Actually, no, I think Lefane might be required. Yeah, Elle confirming that we do have to go to Lefane to get the key, so... At the very least, you're not having to go out of your way to pick up fast.
Oh, that's great, Phoenix. I love that.
Yeah, for the benefit of the VOD, Phoenix in chat pointing out, I guess the chances of killing Chaos with rapidity are fading away fast.
I mean, it makes sense considering this is it's called the Chaos Comedy Tour.
Can we get a mod over here? I'm the only one allowed to make terrible puns. Am I going to make any at the moment? No. A terrible pun is a thing of beauty that cannot be hurried. It's like a wizard. It arrives exactly when it means to.
Right.
Oh, we do have a second light axe, at least, here in Earth Cave. Granted, I think we've pretty much gone through everywhere that we're going to run into undead, but we do have a second light axe just in case. That's actually a good question, Gloomshoom. Ale, have we seen the cat claw anywhere yet? Do we know if it has a bonus? Because cat claw strats are always an option. Alas, no one's been looking in the weapon shops, so that cat claw +5 they could have picked up will continue to languish in obscurity.
Anyway, aside from that, the demon is on Lich.
Lich actually still alive through most of round. Never mind. Almost made it to round 2. Almost.
And you could pretty much say that again about what the randomizer and you and commentary is. When you say something, the randomizer does the entire opposite.
That wasn't even me. Like that was me anticipating that Lich was about to die. It's Lich 1. We call him the purple speed bump for a reason.
Right, yeah. Almost like it's been a while for me, so I gotta get myself back into the mold here.
And it looks like that Goat's ran to a little bit of trouble on Earth Cave. I think chat's saying that that the wizards got him. So, Demon, meanwhile, I believe, heading into C. Alright, Ale pointing out that it's because Demon never did actually find the incentive item down here. Which I believe was the ruby? You know, we have tracker notes. I could go look.
Yeah, it was the ruby. It was the ruby.
Okay. So, possibly hoping he can avoid that long walk to Lefane, and the seed is going to tell him nope. But we do have a question, chat. Don't they have to level up in this game? They do indeed. What you will see often is there are a few strategies for leveling up. You can either find a forced encounter tile that you can easily kill, that gives you decent returns on your experience, and do what we call a static grind, or you can do what we like to call a walking grind, where you take advantage of your party's abilities to quickly end fights you have no business winning, and basically pick up experience that way. Demon opted for a static grind earlier on the seed. Goats has generally been going for a walking grind, taking advantage of a very powerful spell that rolled in a relatively low level, so that he has plenty of shots of it. I mean, I guess the one nice thing, Ale, about, or not Ale, Phoenix, about dumpster diving and Sea Shrine is, because we don't have the key, Demon knows he doesn't have to go to TFC. Well, we did at least find a Bane Sword. A -3 Bane Sword. But a Bane Sword. Okay. And Goats is going to be our first runner to head to Lefane and finally confirm that we do need that we're getting our Fade and our Fast out of this shop, or going back to Gaia for it.
Also, the Tyro is a friend, not a food.
I'm sorry, but those steaks are made of XP, and therefore are the most delicious of all steaks.
Oh, that's another fun percent flag that at least I knew about when I was in a brief stint with this one before I primarily went to Link to the Past. But I'm back here again, so have a bit of fun.
Yeah. But, what was I going to say? The long-standing dispute of whether or not to spare the rare and precious Tyros. And the answer, for me at least, is actually, I'm Team Coin Flip. I see a Tyro, I have 2 of my characters run, and 2 of them try to murder the Tyro, and I let fate decide.
Perfectly reasonable. Also, Ghost got to get the key.
Yep, so Goats just needs to go kill a bunch of fiends. Demon in a much better position, though. Well, okay. One of his white mages is not in a great position at the moment, owing to being dead. But, was that a death touch, actually, or was that just a really hard hit?
Oh, I barely even noticed because I was getting sidetracked from the fact that Lefheim doesn't have our necessary level 8, so Gaia ends up being with the level 8.
Yeah.
Fast is that.
Goats does get that power bonk. So, the Power Gauntlet is an item that when you use it in battle, casts the spell Saber, which is basically Temper, but slightly better, but can only be cast on the caster. And although that power gauntlet is -2, Saber is perfectly fine, and that is going to be how we're going to power up that ninja to make things die. So, Goats, I think, is going to go pick up some spells here in Crescent, as is Demon. Oh, our Cure 4 was also here. Or not Cure 4, our X4 is also here. Along with Quad X and Lock 2.
Right.
So, it's one of those things, I think, if I were in the seed with this party, I would at least throw a little money at putting X4 on at least one white mage. Just because... Because there are times when you need to end a battle without hitting things. And X4... Alright, so here's a little more how this game works under the hood for you. So in Final Fantasy I, there are 8 elements. The standard 3, fire, ice, lightning, then you have earth, then you have poison, then you have status, then you have time, and then you have death. Every enemy in the game has the possibility of having resistance to one or more of those elements. What the spell Xfer, which was bugged in the original release but has been fixed in the randomizer, does is it says, if I hit, you don't get to have resistances anymore. It doesn't give you vulnerabilities, but considering resistances make it almost impossible for most spells to land, it is a very, very good thing to be able to land Xfer. So, given this party and some of the very severe disadvantages it has in terms of survivability, I would be tempted to pick up that Xfer just to have the option of trying to Xfer and then like throw out a Brack or a Bane in case it gets into a situation where just like not even the Vorpal is hitting hard enough. And I can't live long enough to, like, get enough bonks on that ninja. So. And yeah, we do have those nukes, but anyway. While I've been sitting here talking, both of our runners have been making steady progress. Demon has done his looting here has been doing some looting here in Sky. Goats is about to tie up the orb count and be on his way to Kraken. And I'm hoping I haven't knocked Professor Render unconscious by being a nerd about how this game works.
No, I mean, this is totally fine, because I was going to mention that Demon also got the crystal from some greater than room.
Yeah. So, alright, I think at this point, I would say Goats Pirate has the lead, if he can get through this Kraken on his first dive, possibly second. Because we know the encounter table farther up in Sky is going to be a little bit obnoxious. But, we also know that Kraken is exceedingly obnoxious.
Right.
Also, Linkshot correcting me. Sorry, go ahead.
But you can go ahead. I'll say what I was gonna say after you're done.
Okay, Linkshot correcting me in chat. Xfer did work in Final Fantasy I's original release. It just didn't work on enemies. Worked perfectly fine against the player. But what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say that Demon now is, I guess, entered Sky. I was a little worried originally because Ale was telling Demon to not drop the ice shield, and but I guess I don't know if that was traps or what. I wasn't noticing, because right now Goats is, I mean, it has a Topher or Toph, a Tough on Fiends, rather not Topher.
Yeah.
But Demon on the Bridge of Destiny now. Let's see if this comical if it gets comical on Demon's side compared to what Goat's Pirate did.
Yeah, so Goats looks like going to try and get a little bit of experience off of these Sphinxes. Not sure if that's really going to be a strong grind tile, to be completely honest. But, Demon seeing my favorite encounter on the Bridge of Destiny, 4 Hydras.
And they have cremate.
Why do I like the 4 Hydra? Because they're annoying. They're not, like, dangerous or anything. Okay, they might be a little bit dangerous.
Yeah, because one of the white mages. Oh dear, this is. Oh dear, this is a really cool Bridge of Destiny for a Demon. That's so many Hydras.
It's not cruelty. It's just evening things up. Like, here's the thing. Demon's gonna finish off Tiamat. Demon's going to need to go finish the fetch quest chain to get the key. About that time, Goat should be clearing out Kraken. Like, we might see both of these runners make simultaneous attempts on the Temple of Fiends Revisited.
Oh, that is right, yeah. But, that was a lot of Hydras just to get to Tiamat.
You'll love to see it. I mean, you hate to see it. You hate to see it. That's the phrase I meant to use.
I mean, for you would love to see it because it's so much pain, but for the runner, you hate to see it. So I think they got. Also, I don't think I saw this. I think Demon bracked Tiamat as well.
Yeah, he did. So, question chat. Do you have to get all the items? No. In order to finish a seed, all you need is the loot, the key, and to have lit all 4 Fiend Orbs, which, in turn, does mean you need the Rod, the Oxyale, the Charm, and the Cube, and a means to reach all 4 of those dungeons. In the case of this seed, because of the way that the items landed, both of these runners basically collected every item. Okay, look, Twill, it's not that I have no sense of self-preservation. It's that if you can't fight through a bunch of red multi-headed snakes, how do you expect to defeat the incarnation of chaos that has been manipulating time for 2,000 years in a constant loop? You know, it's like expecting to be able to dodge a ball when you can't dodge a wrench.
And in the case of those 2 items, a ball could potentially not hurt you, but a wrench, well, that'll give you a pretty bad headache.
Yeah. But if you can dodge the wrench, you can dodge the ball. Anyway,
just do Wii Sports. Just do the Wii Sports approach. Just punch them out of the sky for some reason.
So refresh my memory. That white shirt, we found that. We got that out of Astos. All right.
It was from Astos, yeah, from the crown.
All right. So yeah. So I was just sitting here thinking, because Demon is not going to check. He might check Canaria if he realizes that incentive power bonk has to be locked behind that key door in Canaria Castle. But otherwise, he's pretty much good to go. He's going to go back to Gaia, presumably, to get those level 8 spells that he needs. Read fast. And then we will probably see our first attempt on Temple of Fiends here in a minute. Which, for those of you who have not seen the Final Fantasy I Randomizer before, we like to refer to the Temple of Fiends as the Great Equalizer. And, oh, Goats is gonna be heading in there too. Because that is a dead Kraken. So, both these runners just need to go collect their, last bit of supplies. And we're gonna pretty much see synced up Topher dives.
Yeah, go on with the Great Equalizer thing.
So, I've heard this expression applied in a few games where, you know, X game can kill you at any time. And I personally feel like Final Fantasy I Randomizer exemplifies that principle more than any other game. Any given fight, especially the Fiend refights and the Temple of Fiends Revisited, can and will kill you at any time. Oh, did you get your party up into the 30s and 40s and, you have a lot of excellent gear and all that? Fantastic! Kraken 2 punched one of your characters for 1,000 damage and then unleashed double nuclear. You are dead. Thank you for playing. Try again. And yeah, so Goats has picked up fast. I don't know if Demon actually picked up fast. He does have lock available, so he's got options.
Demon did not go to Gaia, so he doesn't have it.
Alright, so it looks like both of them may actually be looking to pick up a little more levels. I guess they are both in their high teens, low 20s. Personally, I would consider... I have exit available on 2 characters. I would go peep Earth Floor. Ah, okay, I think Demon might have just been burning off encounters.
Yeah, and in case anyone's doesn't know what we mean by burning off counters, you could explain what that is, but...
Okay, so that the encounters, like whether or not you are going to get into a random encounter in Final Fantasy I, the way it works is there is a table in the game's code that gets referenced every time you take a step. And this table has 255 values in it. 0 to 255. What the game does is it says, alright, what number is in the next cell when the player takes a step? Oh, is that number lower than the threshold for the tile they just stepped on? Then they're getting a fight. The thing is, though, is this table does not change between power-ons. It does not change once the seed is generated. When you power the game on initially, it starts at the beginning of the table, and every step you take cycles you through the table until you reach the end, and then it goes backwards through the table until it reaches the beginning, and it bounces back and forth like that. When you soft reset the game, that is, if you were playing on a physical NES, if you hit the reset button, that's basically a soft reset. That does not change your position in the encounter table. So if you took 5 steps, get into a fight, hit the reset button, the game says, okay, you've already taken the 5th step, the next step you take will be the 6th space in the encounter table. So what you can do is you can run around somewhere, get into a fight, hit the reset button, go back to where you last saved, and you will not have that, you will be past that fight in the encounter table. So you can use that to manipulate your position to get a favorable fight, or to get a long run before you get into your first fight. Or to just put a first fight early enough on in to where, like, you can get a lot of steps off. And I believe we see both Demon and Goats doing exactly that. They took out a few fights so that they get a nice long run early on in Temple of Fiends, get to conserve their resources for these harder floors. So Demon is on what we call the Earth floor, where we are going to get into a fight with Lich 2. You will probably see Lich 2 for 2 rounds at most. Unless this is a Lich 2 that demands respect. You knew what you were doing when you told me to explain it. Don't look at me like that.
I mean, it's been a while since I've played this anyway, so I'm glad I'm having you to explain everything as well.
They're pretty much step for step. Both of them taking these Medusa fights. These Medusae in particular have at most 150 HP and fairly low. Well, okay, Goats is not, but Demon did. They give a lot of experience. They have low health and reasonably low magic defense, so you can usually blast them with like a Fire 2 spell and wipe them out and get some good levels. And we see DemonRHK going for Quake strats on Lich 2. Lich, in spite of being the Fiend of Earth, is not resistant to the Earth element, and also has low enough magic defense to where the Quake spell can instantly kill him. And it does! Unlike later Final Fantasy games, there is no such thing as a boss bit in Final Fantasy 1. Bosses are treated as any other enemy in the game, they just have stupidly high stats. What this means in practice is you have a chance to instantly kill even Chaos. With his stats and resistances, that is incredibly unlikely, but there's always a chance. So we see both runners opting to swap to the Mazza -3. I guess they're unsatisfied with what they're seeing out of the Vorpal. And some of that, I think, comes down to just the levels that they have on their ninjas. Both of them have ninjas below level 25. Yeah, question in chat, did Goat intentionally take Lich again? Probably not. The other thing is, the Fiend refights are just spike tiles. They're just forced encounters that trigger when you step on the tile. So that means, even after you kill them, you can fight them again if you step back onto their tile. You don't want to, because they're incredibly hard fights that don't give you anything. But you can. Though Linkshot in chat does point out he may have gone ahead and fought that Lich 2 a second time to see if the Mazza was the better pick over the Vorpal. But yeah, both runners now on carry 2. And Lock coming out. Lock, another one of those spells that did not work right in the original game, but has been fixed here and buffed, actually, in these flags. Lock will lower the enemy's evasion stat by, I believe, 20. So basically, half of what a cast of Invis will add in evasion. Which is why I call it the poor man's fast. If you have an incredibly evasive enemy, you can either fast up and get enough hits to make the evasion not matter, or you can throw locks out to make the evasion not matter, or you can do both. But yeah, Goat's all ready to crack into. And I'm sorry I keep talking over you, Professor! There's just a lot to say!
You're fine! You're fine!
Okay!
We're on Kraken 2. I was gonna point out that Goats took the lead over Demon because Demon had stayed in the carry 2 fight for a little bit longer. So, and like you mentioned, this is essentially the Great Equalizer. Anything could pretty much happen. It's like comparing it to like when both runners go into GT and it all just comes down to GT routing. It's essentially just that. Like the GT routing, I see it as the Great Equalizer, even though it's kind of like your choice, really.
I don't know. I feel like Temple of Fiends is more like GT if Randomizer is on, where like,
exactly.
Yeah, your execution and your routing matter a little bit, but a lot of it comes down to your ability to deal with the absolute garbage the sea does to you, like a Kraken 2 with Swirl that just took out Goat's Pirate. And also Bane, apparently.
Yeah, I didn't even think about the GT with Randomizer on. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, here's the thing. GT, with enough practice, you know how it works. It just comes down to, you know, picking which direction to go, and it works out. With Temple of Fiends Revisited, you have no idea what you're going to be going up against. Because the Fiend refights... So, the skills and spells that the Fiends are using are shuffled between the 4 of them, Chaos... Okay, so Kraken 2 has Cure 4. Okay, then!
Man!
So, yeah,
Man.
so the skills and spells get shuffled between the 4 Fiend refights, Warmech, and Chaos. So that means that not only are you dealing with high stats, you are also dealing with basically every nasty spell in the game, and Demon gets through that Kraken 2 with a lucky brack. Linkshot, you're able to do the math on this one. What was the chance on that? I am just outsourcing this math right now.
Oh,
because that is a low probability instant kill strat there. If I'm not mistaken, 6%.
6%.
Yeah. So to put that in perspective, that is about the same likelihood as landing a brack on Chaos after X-furring him. Like, you have to strip Chaos's poison resistance away to get up to that 6% chance. That might... If he gets through this tier 2 and Chaos plays nice, that lucky brack may have just decided this race for Demon.
Yeah.
But yeah, as Twill's pointing out in chat, also, that's roughly the equivalent of a critical hit on a D20 for the D&D players in the crowd. And Goat's unfortunately running into that long run in the table, trying to find fights here on this floor, or possibly trying to make sure he gets fights on. I guarantee he was looking for purple worms. And forgot that metal slimes can also happen on this floor. Here we go, that's what Goats was looking for. These giant sacks of experience that that rolled low health and not much of nastiness. Have you been paying attention to the Tia fight? Because I kind of was distracted by Goats for a minute.
I haven't. I'm actually looking at it right now.
Yeah. It looks like this is a pretty, dangerous Tiamat. Or at least a hard-to-kill Tiamat.
Yeah, this one's very tanky.
Ooh, but Phil Collins, spelled with an F and an H, pointing out in chat, we haven't seen Nuke yet, and we've had 3 fairly long fights where we should have seen that Nuke come out. Remember how I said this Chaos would... If this Chaos is relatively friendly, Demon can win this here? I'm wondering if we're going to see a friendly Chaos right now. Or if we are about to see history's greatest monster. Okay, I mean, in the case of the world of Final Fantasy I, this is history's greatest monster. And the present's greatest monster, and depending on where you are in the time loop, the future's greatest monster. But, regardless... yeah, that's true. We didn't see the mech skills, but... Like, that Nuke doesn't have a lot of places to hide.
Oh, and this all happened because of Demon's brack onto Kraken.
Yeah, that's true. Like, we don't actually know what it will take to kill that Kraken without that lucky shot.
If Demon goes down, this could get very, very interesting.
Yeah,
you mentioned this is the great equalizer, kind of like with level 9 in Zelda 1, but but in a way different perspective.
Yeah. So, because here's the thing. Chaos's stats are already really, really strong in vanilla. When you enhance them and then create the possibility that he can get all sorts of nastiness, things can go way south way fast. So, Demon lucked out. Chaos rolled a couple of lit 2s in his spell table. The downside is he can throw up the Invises to protect from a punchy Chaos, but this Chaos isn't particularly punchy. And if he's got some non-elemental spells in there, there's not much you can do but have levels, and there is Nuke. This is the point where you hold A and pray. 5 hits for 993. We used to have 54 HP. 5 hits, 500. We got about 50. Never.
That is gonna hurt.
Yeah, so that Chaos has somewhere between 2,000 and 3,000 HP. So, if Demon had landed another one of those 900 HP hits, there was, I think, about a 50-50 shot that Chaos would have died. But, yeah. That right there is what I've been saying. You can have a lot of advantages going into Chaos, but sometimes Chaos just says, you don't have enough health for this. And that is the disadvantage of this party, is these are 3 of the lowest HP classes in the game. Like, the white mages have the best HP growth out of the 3 classes that these runners have. Oh, Jed Livy pointing out that there had been a 500 HP hit before that I missed. So, yeah, that next swing probably would have killed Chaos if he'd gotten the turn order. And sometimes that's what it comes down to. And also, yeah, the lack of fast. But right now, Goats is making another attempt at Temple of Fiends, having picked up a few levels. I think Goats is sitting, what, in the mid-20s now?
I haven't really paid attention, but this actually really hurts for Demon, because we mentioned this before Chaos started up, was that Demon got a lucky break from the bracking Kraken 2, and dying on Chaos, wiping on Chaos, is like, that does not feel good at all. It feels absolutely bad.
Yeah, but here is the thing for Goats. Demon was about the level Goats is now. Actually, never mind. So, here's the thing. We saw on Demon's side, first of all, we know that Kraken has Cure 4. I don't know if Goats saw deep enough into the table to see that. But, even if Goats knows that, we don't know how much health that Kraken has, but we know it was a fairly beefy Kraken. This may be a situation where you either need levels, or you need, like Demon did, to get that 1 in 20 shot. Alright, so Rojo and Guardian Marcus in chat saying that Cure 4 was the first spell in his script. Okay, so Goats definitely knows that Kraken's got that Cure 4. So, yeah, it's one of those things, what we know now about this Temple of Fiends. Kraken 2 definitely is a gatekeeper. Tia 2 is a resource drain. You just have to slug it out with that Tia 2, and it's going to tap your supplies. And then Chaos, you may just have to do like 2 bonks and then pray. Because that nuke and nuclear, those are deep enough. Well, the nuclear's not deep, but that nuke's deep enough in. If you can get some solid hits off before Chaos busts out the nuke, you might be able to outrace him to that nuke shot. But that's all contingent on getting past Kraken 2, which I don't know what it's going to take to actually kill it. We haven't seen how much health it has. But Demon, I'm suspecting, is at least going to grind to have 400 max HP on that White Mage and Ninja. But here we go. Or I guess here we goats.
You said you would hold on. You said you'd hold on to the bad puns until like a lot later, and now you did it. And now you used it in the last moment.
I'd wait until the right moment.
Yep.
Okay, so Goat's going ahead, getting that fast out, getting that temper out, knowing that it doesn't matter where you put the ninja when you're fighting Kraken 2. If Kraken 2 wants to kill your ninja, he's going to kill your ninja. But does drop that swirl, kills the Black Mage, that's fine. The ninja's sabered up, got a couple of tempers, got a fast. I didn't see, I'm assuming Goats is using the Mazda on the ninja. Yeah, it looks like a Mazda swing. So 10 hits, 1,000 damage. Kraken 2 is still alive. And he is just going to wait this out. 10 hits, 900 damage, Kraken 2 is dead. Okay. So Kraken 2 has somewhere between 1,000 and 1,900 health. We have learned something.
And it looks like the Masa was absolutely the one that would pretty much just be like, oh yeah, this is the right weapon, not the Vorpal.
Yeah. So, meanwhile, Demon still grinding. Got that ninja up over 400. Getting that White Mage up there as well. So, going into this tier 2. So, like I said, this tier 2, it's a drain.
Yeah, yeah, but starting with that Fire 3, though. Looks like Demon is done grinding, though. Probably want to head back to Topher very soon.
Yeah, if he's got a spare house, just life 2 up those 2, drop a house, call it a day. Yeah, he is going to need a little bit of help at this point, but... Alright, he's going to go get that fast now. He has seen the error of his ways. So, here is the thing, though. Right now, Goats is in a good position. But Goats, his entire party has less than 400 HP. Nuke has a max damage roll of 400. And yeah, so the big advantage the Vorpal would have over the Mazda is that Mazda doesn't have much of a crit rate. The Vorpal does. Yeah, the Mazda's a -3, for the record. But yeah, alright. So here's Goat's Pirate's attempt on Chaos. So... he's got a little more experience on him than Demon did going into this fight. He's got the ability to cast fast, which Demon didn't. If he is a little less conservative with his buffing, if he, say, goes for as many tempers as his Black Mage lives to cast, and like 2 bonks, and then just goes, he could win it. If he lets this fight go until Chaos breaks out that nuke, there is a good chance that Chaos just wipes him out then and there. And Chaos is already starting into his spell list. Was it 2 lits and then the nuke, or was there a spell between the second lit 2 and the nuke?
I wasn't. I think, according to Ale, I'm gonna just go off of what Ale Markin is saying. They're thinking that there was one in between.
Yeah, so there might be... So if this Chaos, who we know does like to cast spells... Yeah, so the nuclear... Alright, so his skill list is nuclear and then ink. Alright, 10 hits for 500. Less than ideal. Goats is gonna need Chaos to not be dipping that spell list. Because he's gonna need at least 3 more rounds, possibly 4 more rounds of hits like that. Okay. Another round of hits like that and he might win this. Alright, Chaos rolled close to max. So, Goats can win this here with this swing, and does. Goats Pirate winning with an official time of 1 hour, 38 minutes, and 58 seconds.
Oh, and this race. Oh boy, this brings up a pretty big what-if scenario, and this was in the form of Demon's Chaos fight. What if... It's like, basically, this what-if is just... Hadn't Chaos went into the spell list and wiped Demon's party, we would have seen this race come to its conclusion a bit earlier.
Yeah.
And Goats would have had to, and Demon wouldn't have to, go out to farm those tiles to get his level to 400, over 400 health, 400 HP. And this what if scenarios.
I mean, but that is what Temple of Fiends Revisited does. It puts you in that kind of position where you are,
essentially just what could have been.
Alright, so Goats will not be joining us for an interview. So we will continue to ride things out with Demon as he makes another dive down here with some good experience hanging on him. In the meantime, chat is pointing out kind of to your what-if thinking. Demon being able to make that push toward Chaos meant he had to deal with a long Tier 2 fight and took that wipe to Chaos. Whereas if he'd wiped on Kraken 2, may have gone and done that grind a little bit quicker, gone and gotten that fast, and all that good stuff. So, I don't know. This is a really good example, though, of kind of what I was talking about since we hit Temple of Fiends Revisited. There's so many factors that all play into it that it's never over until it's over. You could have someone get into tow for 5 to 10 minutes ahead of their opponent, and because of the different choices the two runners made over the course of the entire seed, they have 2 completely different Temple of Fiends. Or even the choices they make as they go through Temple of Fiends. But, one runner might Quake Glitch 2, round 1, and the other runner might see a turn 1 nuke 3 times. Not that I would know about that or anything.
We're seeing Kraken Toot from Demon again.
But yeah, so Demon is the one pulling out the Cure 4 strats this go round. But getting those locks out early, I like to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like I said, Lock is your best friend at the end of a seed. Just because the evasion can roll very high on this, even with the adjustments that the developers of the randomizer have made to keep the fiends from rolling too high on their evasion, still roll fairly high, especially when you're tackling things at relatively low levels. But Lock very quickly shows its worth, even with high... 2 or 3 casts of Lock will usually make even a dodgy fiend pretty easy to hit. With most of the attacks you're entitled to on a swing. So... It is very nice to have Lock at disposal, especially when you combine it with Fast. But yeah, based on what we saw on Goat's side, this Tia is not going to last very long. Because we saw how it kind of dragged out with Demon before, but Demon now has more experience and more damage than Goats did. So he should be able to just plow through Tia in a couple of swings. And... okay, I thought that was going to be a Terminated there. Next hit from that ninja, I think, should take this Tia out. I think she has somewhere around 12 to 16. Yeah, there we go. Alright, so Demon back on Chaos's floor. He knows what Chaos is going to do this time, so he has an opportunity to, you know, get himself geared up. He made it a point to get 2 of his party members more than 400 HP, so as long as he keeps that health up, he should be in good position to yeah, as long as he keeps his health up, he'll at least be able to weather that nuke. Whether or not there's anything past that nuke that's immediately going to be a problem, we still have to see. But Black Mage is able to get that fast off. Chaos doesn't lead with the nuclear this time. Looks like his script favors spells, and then scripts are secondary, and then punching's tertiary. But that's getting into the works in this game. We don't have time for that right now. Ooh, only 1 Cure 4 left on that Red Mage, but should still have a lot of casts left on the Red Mage that Demon actually intended to live. Okay, there's that second lit 2, so we know there's 1 more coming out, and then we've got that nuke to contend with. Did I say Red Mage? I meant White Mage. So...
to be fair, the ninja does look like a red mage. Well, if you like, because it's the same color.
Look.
Primary color.
Look. If I had my druthers, I would just take 4 red mages absolutely none of the time. That's a terrible party. But like 2 red mages, a white mage, or at least 1 red mage. If I'm drafting, I'm bringing a red mage. I like red mages. Alright, 4 Cure 4s on that one white mage, 1600 damage. Ooh, here's... Oh, no. And there's... you hate to see it, because if he'd gotten turn order right there, that would have been ball game, because that next hit probably would have taken Chaos down, but Demon has unfortunately forfeited, basically on the basis of wipes to Chaos is enough for one night. But he did mention that he's up for an interview, so if we can get him in here, that would be fantastic.
Yeah, it sucks to like die to Chaos in this case. Just knowing that the spell list really did not play nice with Demon, and also probably due to the fact that the draft was also like you had to do with like low defense throughout this entire game, and then leading up to like through the refights. It just does not feel good, just at all.
Yeah. So we're having a little bit trouble getting the invite, but yeah, while we're waiting for Demon, just what I was saying about the enemy script. So the way that enemies... Never mind, here's Demon. Hey, Demon. GG.
GG.
So...
For 20, I said. It'll be fine, I said.
Gee, if only someone handsome and brave had told y'all before you even started drafting, hey, don't bring 2 thieves and 2 white mages or something stupid like that.
We didn't bring 2 thieves. We brought a thief and a black mage. It was fine.
Anyway.
The what ifs are all over the place. I still think if I had gotten turn order on that last dive, on that last turn, I probably would have terminated. But I'm not sure.
You absolutely would have. That Chaos had, I think, somewhere around 2,700 HP. I know that Goats did upwards of 2,500, but not quite 3,000. So it was definitely like your next swing. If it did, it would have probably killed Chaos. But speaking of what if scenarios, so do you actually do you have kind of in your head what the odds of landing that Brack on Kraken 2 were?
Low, but I was determined. But the Vorpal was doing so little damage there. I figured that I would just drop all my... I was going to drop all my spell charges at least through the ninja, and figured if that failed, then I would go ahead and just start fasting and tempering after that, because I just wanted to give it a couple of good shots. I think it's like, what, 6%, something like that?
6%. We Link Shot was in chat, so I was able to just ask him, and he knew.
Yeah, no, it's low, but my thought is, I've got 2 white mages doing nothing but stacking and Viz, so, and yeah. he was spell happy anyway. Yeah, and then on the second Chaos dive, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna be cheeky. I'm gonna throw a wall on my 2 non-ribbon wearers, and he's gonna be like, no, I'm gonna hold off nuclear for like 6 turns.
I mean, if it makes you feel any better, wall wouldn't have mattered. Nuclear's not elemental.
True.
Yeah, so looking at how, from watching you and Goats' 3 fights with Chaos, it looks like it was one of those, like, 50% spell, 25% skill scripts or something like that. So,
yeah. Which
which was unfortunate with that nuke buried where it was, because it landed right when you were done buffing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of the main difference between how you and Goats tackled that Chaos, was he started swinging like 2 turns earlier than you did. He basically just went, I'm just going to go ahead and take the buffing I've got and count on, just getting through Chaos before he does something rude.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, it's one of those things, you played that Chaos as well as you could with the knowledge you had. And like you said, if your turn order had gone slightly different, you would have 2-shot Chaos, probably, with that ninja.
Yeah. It is what it is. I mean, that's why we run. You know, it's random. It's a randomizer for a reason because things are random. I mean, GG to goats. I didn't exactly. I'm not one of those people that like dive into people's VODs and everything. But a quick look through the race channel and I go, okay, so goats is insanely consistent on this flag set. I go in, okay, 135 is my target time. If I don't finish in 135, he's got me. And I went in and said, I'll try a cheeky dive early at low level. I figure I might make it to carry 2, get to see what she's got on the spell list, see how far maybe I've got to grind up. And it just kept going and kept going. And I'm like, oh, I've got this. And then that, it just absolutely ripped me to shreds. I got physically sick when Chaos got turn order on me. And I'm like, okay, I've got to go grind, and that's probably it. But
well, if it makes you feel better, Demon, y'all were neck and neck going into Temple of Fiends, and Goats actually had the worst of it, pretty much until you took that Chaos Wipe. He got up to Kraken 2, and that Bane took him out. So he actually went back and did a little bit of grinding the Key Door floor, and I think a little bit of grinding on Earth floor. Basically, so that cheeky dive almost paid off. Like, I know it doesn't feel like you put on a fantastic performance. You absolutely, like, however disadvantaged you may have felt, easily could have taken this race from Goats without question. And even with having to go out and grind, the way that Chaos worked, Goats easily could have been taken out by that Chaos. I think what it came down to is Chaos punched instead of casting, and to that nuke before Goats could finish him off. Because that nuke probably would have wiped Goats. He did not have anyone with more than like 350 HP.
But besides Temple of Fiends, the seed was interesting, and I found it fun because in the air at 5 minutes, promoted at 11 minutes. Other than me forgetting and then remembering the incentive in C, only to find out later it's the Ruby, and absolutely just being very, very unhappy about that.
I mean, that was one of those cases of it was the correct play, even though the randomizer, like, even with having to go digging through chests in C, I feel like with the fights you were getting into, it was still better than if you had to go to Lefane and back.
Oh no, it was, in my opinion, it was absolutely the wrong play, because as I was opening, it's probably a good thing there weren't any cams on here, because as every chest on Mermaid, that feeling in your stomach just gets lower and lower, because, okay, I've cleared Mermaids, now it's 33% it's in TFC, now it's 50% it's in TFC, I'm down to 2 chests.
Well, okay, here's the thing for if this happens again. You needed the key. Anything you found had to be in line with the key, so it couldn't have been in TFC.
Right, but that is very true, but the power bonk was also still outstanding to me. It could have been the power bonk. Actually, no. I realized later that it had, whatever was left had to be out, because the Ruby was still out, and the Ruby could have led to the power bonk. No. I don't know. I was really just thrown off after I had forgotten that the incentive in C. I got back and got it, and I don't know. It was a fun seed to run overall. I mean, we weren't too penalized. I found that decent grind early. Shout out to Harm 3 of all spells. Got up to decent levels on 3 Light Warriors, and it was just pretty much things fell over from there.
Yeah, no, so what this is definitely a lesson in, if you go back and watch the VOD, is that walking grinds and static grinds both have advantages and disadvantages. Like, you two demonstrated that, like, there's not too terribly great a difference between the two, in the hands of two equally skilled runners. And I would argue you two are pretty equally matched in terms of skill. Like, this race easily could have gone either way. But because yeah, you went with kind of the static grind options, and Goats went for the walking grind options, and y'all basically kept pace the entire way through the seed. You pulled ahead at the very end when you just went for the dedicated grind to get. And I said this during the commentary, and I'm assuming the goal was get at least 400 HP on 2 of these characters so that I can survive the nuke.
Pretty much, it was go to 30. I'm like, go to 30. I'll be at like mid 450s or like mid 4s, so that'll be enough to at least survive a max roll, and then hopefully just my cure force take.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think that's probably a good place to kind of go ahead and kind of start wrapping things up. Give SpeedGaming back their primary channel. So, Demon, is there anything else you kind of wanted to bring up that we didn't ask you about?
No, just GG's to Goats. Good job on taking that one. Also, thank you guys for calming, for tracking, restreaming, SpeedGaming for letting us, abscond with their channel for a few hours here. Everybody for watching in as well. And hopefully I can recover from my next race here in a couple of days.
All right. So, Professor, I know I kind of did a lot of yapping, so do you have anything you'd like to say?
I think, it's best that it's great that I actually had you to explain all the intricacies. Because if I was explaining it, I would be getting everything wrong. I would be having everything wrong because it's been a while since I dipped my toes into Final Fantasy 1 randomizer, but seeing the spring tournament started up, it's like, I want to get back into this. I'm not doing so well in my Link to the Past randomizer qualifiers, but I want to at least dip my toes back into here and see what it's like. Maybe.
Well, it's one of those things. You like the next time you give this a spin, like, relax. You know more than you think you do.
Yeah, but other than that, though, like this was fun. This was really fun.
But yeah, so again, thank you to SpeedGaming for having us on here, putting us on the Prime channel. Thank you to Ale for keeping us honest and keeping eyes on the things we're not looking at. And really to everyone in chat, y'all have been a great chat tonight, keeping things interesting, talking about all of the little details that we may have missed, and doing math for us. Shoutouts to Linkshot. And overall, thanks to everybody. Thanks to Professor Renderer for putting up with me, like I said. So make sure to follow those runners. The links are there in chat. Make sure to, go ahead and toss the rest of the broadcast team a follow. Don't bother with me. I don't do anything. Don't forget to follow all the SpeedGaming channels if you aren't. And if you are watching this on the YouTube later, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. And if you like what you've seen and like randomizers where you can dig really deep into a pointlessly complicated NES RPG, come join us on the Discord. We're pretty fun folks. We really enjoy suffering. Like, half of the things that we do as a community are based around just making things really, really painful. So, check that out. Anyway, that being said, I think we're going to go ahead and call it here. I don't think we have any more races tonight, but come join the Discord. You'll find out when the next races are. So, have a good night, everyone.